Good afternoon, Lee.
Good afternoon. It's
Okay.
actually 6 p.m. here.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. At your place. I won't say mine because that's indecent. But I'm glad we talk again about the game. So let's start. So first, the early access still Thursday the 26th.
Still Thursday the 26th. Can confirm.
Woohoo! So great.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, so a lot of feature went on lately. So let's talk about the server first. We've seen a few private servers opening the last a week and a half or something like that.
hmm
The server will be available from early access to everyone.
Yes, we're trying to get it. It's making it anonymous is what we do. So you can run a server, you can download a server and run it without a Steam account, and we're trying to do that in advance of the launch. So probably like the day before.
Okay, and what will be available? Windows version or Linux version?
Windows will definitely be available anonymously. Right now, Windows is our preferred platform because that's what we've done all the testing on. We're still rolling out Linux, so that might be on a more choice basis at first, but eventually we'd like to lump them together.
Okay, so you did a lot of tests lately on the servers. Or when the last test, and what did you learn from them?
So we've been pretty excited about these. Like we've been doing these stress tests basically as a way of just overloading the server and the client and seeing where things break because that's the fastest way for us to optimize. And especially getting the real world data just makes it a lot easier than what we normally simulate on our own. So, I think back in the day after Christmas on Boxing Day, we had our first stress test. It was pretty janky, but it still kind of opened the door to us where we now saw a lot of different ways we could go based on that. And then we did another one last weekend, testing out some of the improvements we've made. And I thought it was a pretty drastic change. And then we've spent the last week kind of working with that data, and we have some new optimizations that I'm really excited about. And actually, they'll probably be out, by the time this video gets submitted.
The HUD looks quite great actually, but in terms of customization, it's still very basic. You say so at the beginning, so we were
Yep.
warned. But what are the leads you are actually following for the admin HUD, and how can the community helps you to upgrade and polish it?
Yeah. So we first off, we refer to it as the server panel, just to keep it simple. And we've already been collecting feedback from the first groups that we've been rolling it out to. We've already got a long list of stuff on the wish list based on that feedback. I think some of the bigger ones that have been requested are some kind of welcome page or message of the day. So we're looking into a solution for that. We got the basic stuff, just like map votes and admin chats and priority slots for clan servers. There's a long list, and we're still collecting it. So we're the door's still open for putting feedback in on that stuff.
Okay, so for the people who are going to use the servers, where they can put their feedback to you, directly on the forum, or there's a page for that, or
I'd say forums are good. They can also email contact@drivenarts. That always gets filed away.
okay. So we have read your post on the roadmap you intend. Tell me what we can expect in the next 2-3 weeks.
People want to know, like, oh, how many of these features are going to be there day one? So first off, that roadmap is for all of early access, but there are different levels of priority in there. I'd say big priorities now are VoIP, just getting basic stuff like the voice commands functional, and then we have like our new animation systems, our new weapon systems that are going to smooth things out and fix a lot of bugs that we've been having for a long time. There's another big one I wanted to mention. Another thing we are looking at is increasing server cap limits. So that's something we think has a lot of potential.
Okay, so what about the updates? Gonna be weekly or what?
This was actually a hot topic of discussion at a talk I went to a couple months ago. We heard both sides of the story from other devs who've had games in early access. You can either basically have regularly scheduled updates. Some people do every 2 weeks. Some people do every month. And then there's the type of people who just kind of release them as a surprise when they're ready. And based on our development experience, we've found that holding ourselves to arbitrary deadlines just kind of overall hurts the process. It's much better for us, and then we think for the game to have it just proceed more naturally. And I think people have kind of gotten used to that style already, the way we do updates. So I'd expect things to come more, kind of as they hit. It's also kind of the same way, Valve is famous for doing their updates. We want the game to be the update. We want to speak through our patch notes, basically.
So some testers are talking a lot about the gameplay, the recall, the environment, anything about the game. The recall or is partially for a lot of gamer, not enough on some kind of armament or the tuning, of the hitbox or those kind of things. Very technical, will help probably to develop the game as an e-sport. Are there actually on top of your list?
It's hard to answer that without getting specific questions, but I think the blanket answer is everything's still going to change. We have a great stable of really intense testers who have lots of competitive experience, who are nagging us every day to change the things that they want to make the game just more polished in that regard. So we've got everything we need. It's gonna take us time and iteration cycles.
Okay, so just to get back on the voiceover, player thing, I know it actually exists because it works on the servers, but you told me that you were in the process of redoing it to better it. What kind of system are you considering for this particular piece?
Yep. So there's integrated VoIP in UE4. It's known to have a bunch of problems. We spoke to other games in UE4 who have written their systems from scratch. We don't have the resource to do that now, so we're actually working with a third-party provider that is still new. The product is not even released yet. So we're in kind of at the very, very early stages of it. So it'll be one of the first, probably the first release game to have it in, actually. So I can't say anything more about that now, but it's going to look a little different probably than other VoIP systems that you've seen before.
Okay, thanks. So next question. Can you tell us what Steam features we will have from day one? Not long ago, the possibility to interact with other players through Steam appeared. We wanted to know if those features, like inviting your friends in the game and all this stuff, is coming along.
I kind of lump this stuff into what I call quality of life features and updates. For the Steam specific ones, we're probably going to lump them all into one bigger update a little further down the line. We had considered kind of trying to do like half worked versions of some of them, but we figured this stuff we want to devote the time to it and do it right. So they won't be there day one, the ones you listed, but they are planned to be coming at a later date.
Because I don't absolutely know how it works. Is that Steam will have to do that, or to offer you the services, or that you have to develop your own?
It's integration work and getting it into the game, but that kind of stuff is dangerous to be touching right now as we are on the eve of the launch.
Okay. Till now, the alpha testers and the partners were unable to do videos and screens due to the strong NDA we had. With early access coming, will it be possible now?
Everything will be open. We can't prevent you from that after we're launched.
Okay.
You heard it here.
That's cool. You had the Steam approval a few weeks ago. The community are quite stirring up now, and a lot of old teams and clans are reforming. You are a bunch of days before early access, with another big milestone. How do you feel about that? How does Drive on Hearts team feel?
excited. I think we're prepared, and honestly, we're ready to get rolling here. Development has just been kind of it's gone on for a while, and we're kind of sick of just being behind closed doors. So we're really excited about the idea of opening this up, getting a ton more feedback, and spooling up our resources and moving even faster in the next 6 months.
So you're gonna throw in a party or what?
I don't think we're going to throw a party at launch. Maybe shortly after. There's a lot of work to be done in the first couple of weeks, so we want to release and hit the ground running. We don't want there to feel like there's a delay. So.
Okay, so you did answer pretty well for the servers and everything, but I want to be sure to have like everything summarized. So when will we be able to have servers for everyone?
The goal is by launch, so hopefully shortly before launch, we'll be making the server app public and anonymous.
Okay, so we clear that from the 26th, people can buy the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What will be the price?
The price, well, in euros, I believe it's $24.99 and dollars as well.
Okay. And now, from what time?
It's still to be finalized, but I would expect around 9 a.m. Europe time.
9 a.m. Europe time.
You should be able to wake up and purchase the game.
Okay.
No sitting around, unless you wake up really early.
Okay. We're nearly finished. Before we part, any specifics or announcements or, who knows, spoilers?
We're probably going to make some announcements in the next day or two, so this might be public knowledge by the time people see this. But I'm just going to say we're definitely we're very excited about the potential for the large scale battles that we've been testing out over the last 2 weeks, and we're having another test tomorrow. So we think that there are a lot of ways we could go with that, and it makes it's like a completely different experience that we think we can add in to Days of War.
Wow. So. Omar, like what? 100 versus 100? That could be crazy, isn't it?
Sky's the limit. I mean, there's we still have a long ways to go, but like Unreal it keeps surprising us. On the netcode side, it seems to be miles ahead. I would say Source, for example, but it still has its issues.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks very much for this Q&A, and speak to you very, very soon. I will say good luck for the 26th. And we will be around to celebrate this early access, because we've been expecting that for more than 8 or 10 months, and the excitement is probably not the same, but not very far. You know what I mean?
Well, you should celebrate. We're going to wait till we do our full launch.
Yeah, that's cool. But thanks very much again.
Thank you.